after a game like Saturday, and maybe this is kind of in general since you've been down to 7 or 8 players, how much of these next 2 days are focusing on yourself more than TCU?
I mean, it's almost always that way, regardless of the year or the situation within the season. But it's really important that we understand that there's a certain way you have to play mentally. You have to approach the game the right way. I thought we did early, and then they did what a really good team does. They made a run, and they made it really hard for us to get out in transition, and we didn't respond well at all. We started settling, and I shouldn't say it was on us because they made us take some really tough shots, which led to some easy baskets, and the ball got rolling downhill on us, and we couldn't stop it. So today, it's just the same. You know, we try to figure out from a film standpoint where are those moments that we could be better, and then move on to the next one.
How do you think the guys have been adjusting to the defensive switches between man and zone?
Saturday was an indication not very good. Now we played 3 games before that doing that, and we were pretty good. So it's still a process. It's the first time that I feel like we didn't respond though the right way when another team made a run, and it was mostly on the defensive end because they got just ridiculously uncontested shots, and to their credit, they made them all.
What goes fatigue?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, we were off a whole week, you know, so I could see maybe some of the ground of the season. That's part of what happens in February, you know, quite honestly, for everybody. And what you see, as I said it before, you start to see a separation. Some teams get better and start to continue to trend upward, and some teams, either because they're not getting better or because they're disinterested in continuing that process, start to tail off, and that's something we got to make sure doesn't happen to us.
What goes into deciding when to switch into different defenses? Is it a feel and flow of the game and foul situations, or do you go in with some sort of idea of how?
Yeah, try to have an idea. The game usually kind of dictates how you make adjustments throughout. Certainly, you're picking up early foul makes you more conscious of that. Try to keep them on the court a little bit more. Anytime we have to sub one of our starters, to be honest, you try to look to maybe preserve some energy, and so it's usually pretty early, 4th or 5th possession of the game. We try to start out being pretty aggressive, but we're more mindful of foul trouble, and certainly the time of score. If we get a lead, it's probably helpful to maybe try to play a little bit more too, to try to preserve the lead a little longer.
When we spoke to you a few minutes ago, he said at the beginning of the season probably had trouble playing 20 minutes in a game without getting tired. How much have you seen him develop just in terms of his ability to play with effort for 30 minutes in a game?
Yeah, it's what you've seen from yours, what you see typically from freshmen, particularly bigs. They come along late, they figure things out, things happen a little slower for them. I can still remember back to my freshman year. It wasn't until much later in the year that I even was able to help my team have success on the court consistently. So I know that process takes time. What happens is we've seen several guys been able to come in as freshmen and have remarkable seasons, and so you almost forget that's those outliers. But what he's having is a very typical freshman year in terms of steady progress. I think he's gotten better, each week. Hasn't always produced at a high level, but I can see signs of him becoming a really good player.
How beneficial do you think all this playing time will be for Ice and in the years going forward?
It'll be huge. It's one of the kind of silver linings is, and that I watched the game and it looked like my team was looking for help. Trying to find somebody to save them from that moment when K-State was making that run, and there's nobody to help us. We got to figure this thing out on our own, and it's good for them because they'll have this experience moving forward for the rest of their careers.